Good evening. Rod Baker with God and Rod. And I want to talk this evening, and it's kind of late at night, but I just finished listening to what I consider a friend of mine. She is a dream of a friend, a true dream of a friend. And I've been listening to her and a little bit of correspondence, of course, but I've been listening to her for several months now, almost 8-9 months actually. And she's somebody who picks up my energy. There's no doubt about it. But she's a dream of a friend. And I was listening to her earlier tonight, and she is so encouraging, and she was talking about how the vibration, the energy, the attitude of this world is becoming hopeful. Hopeful. And what's beautiful about that is that's exactly what is asked of us. No matter creed, color, religion, gender, belief, as long as that belief is in a higher power, a creator of the universe, or maybe the universe itself to some of you, spirit. I call him God. Man, got all kinds of things coming in and going out. There's been quite a transition in my life. And it started 24 years ago, when after I'd gotten clean and sober. And I began to notice that I was being given the responsibility of gifts. And I had been told that I was going to be given these gifts back when I was about 13, 14, 15, 16, all through that time. I was told I'd be receiving these gifts. I just didn't think I was ever going to be ready or willing or able to take these gifts on. And so the beautiful part about that is that it's almost like knowing you've got an inheritance coming, but not wanting the relative to die. And that was the conundrum that I was in for a long time, is I knew these gifts were for me. I just didn't think I was ever going to be ready, willing, or able. And so when that transition began way back then is when I began to start preparing myself for whatever the future was going to bring. God's will be done. God's will be done. And so tonight, when I heard my dream of a friend speak on how she identifies the same thing I do without us having that conversation, without us implementing those ideas in one another, that it was happening now. But at the same time, knowing that we both, along with others that think, that believe like us, the world's changing. There's a renewed hope in the world today. I use the Bible because it makes sense to me that other men, women, other people have built a relationship with God. Their own relationships. I mean, you know, there's a big difference in Job and Jonah. There's a big difference in David and Jesus. But the similarity is all one God. We all believe in one God. You know, you had Isaac and Esau. I believe it was those two brothers that started a different line of people for a while. But I also believe we're all coming back to the same hope. And I'm not saying that, you know, that this is taboo or that's taboo or this is right and that's wrong. That's not for me to say. Judge not, lest ye be judged. And it's not judged by others. I can't afford to be judged by myself. I kind of like the innocent, the not innocent, that's for sure, but the pardoned. I've been pardoned. And with that has changed my life. It's made me think differently, see things differently, believe differently, love differently, like differently, act differently, speak differently. I'm pardoned. And so for me, that, you know, the Bible has helped me a lot, along with other things too. I mean, there's been many books written about a man and his beliefs, creator. And energies, spiritual things. I'm more of a soul man. A soul being the mind, will, emotions, affections, desires. I sense the soul of people. I mean, if they've got spirits in there, I pick it up because it feeds through the soul, through their mind, their will, their emotions, their affections, their desires. And I sense that. I pick that up. I read that. I'm a soul reader. I'm a soul reader. I see it in pictures. Your soul. If I have a connection with you where I can hear your voice, or I sometimes look at you, sometimes just sitting across the room from you, you know, just depends on what God would have me do, you know. It talks in there quite a bit about different prophets that the angels would speak to. Angels being the messengers that they would speak to. Thus saith the Lord. And so, you know, those of us that have that understanding, it's a gift, and it's a gift to be used to bring forth hope, bring forth faith, and bring forth love in people's lives. It's not for our own use other than those things, and that is what we use it for. Those of us that have it, that are responsible with what we are required to do. Purposeful. Purposeful. And so this is really the first time I've admitted publicly or openly really at all. I mean, there's only been maybe one or two people that I've even discussed this with. But I read souls. I do. It's not everybody. Just whomever God would have me read, so that I may lift them up, lift up their hope, their faith, their love. And that's what I do. And I don't care. So I don't care if you know, if you're a clairvoyant or if you're a seer, I don't care. That's not for me to judge you. If you have a relationship, if you believe God, then you're righteous to me, because that's all it took for Abraham. Abraham believed God. I believe God. Those of us that believe God, we understand there's, in my Father's house are many mansions. Jesus went to prepare a place for those who believe that he is the Son of God, only begotten Son of God. So please, quit looking at the differences and let us look at the similarity of that we believe God. So, I don't care, like I said, if you believe tarot cards, not tarot cards, I don't care. I don't care if you believe in a deck of cards. I can sit here right now and say, you know what? Love your neighbor. It says, love God with all your heart, your mind, your soul, and your strength. You know what? Oh, and on Tuesday, everything's going to work out for you. Let me tell you something. There's so much encouragement in that field. There's some harshness, yeah. There's some harshness in the world, which, really takes me to my favorite scripture in the whole Bible, of all things, my favorite scripture. And if you will be a little polite, I'll just go ahead and read it. It's in Genesis. Joseph is talking to his brothers, the ones that threw him in a pit, sold him for slavery. He spent many years in prison, was accused of crimes he didn't commit, and then ends up being the one that is right under Pharaoh, taking care of all the supplies of Egypt. That's what happened to him. Sound familiar? Anyway, he's talking to his brothers. And Joseph said and I apologize, this is chapter 50. This is the last chapter of Genesis, chapter 50. And it starts at verse 19. And it says, and Joseph said unto them, talking to his brothers, fear not, for am I in the place of God? I'm not God. I'm not God. I'm not even in his place. Just here to do his bidding. But as for you, ye thought evil against me. You thought evil against me. But God meant it unto good, to bring to pass as it is this day, to save much people alive. See, I take that as God already meant for those things to happen with his brothers and the being thrown in the pit and slavery and all that. I believe that God already meant for that to happen. The thing is that his brothers thought evil against him, thought it was for evil, did it for evil purposes. God meant it for good. So think twice about the things that happen to you. You can't judge well. You're looking at it through a glass darkly. We don't judge well. The vibration's raising, the frequency of this earth is raising. And I am grateful to be a part of it. I'm a soul reader and I'm a healer. I'm a healer. I have touched death a number of times. But I have been left here for a purpose. I've been kept here for a purpose. And it's a great purpose. It is to heal. And it is to read. And that's what I do. I'm a soul reader. And I'm a healer. I heal from the inside to the outside. And I can stitch up some stuff if I need to. I can run some stitches. I don't mind putting some staples in you. Don't mind cutting you. Whatever I got to do. But the world's raising. It's raising up. It's time to start looking at your purpose. Looking for your purpose. Asking for your purpose. And if you don't find your purpose, ask him what his purpose for you is. Because we all have one. We all have one. So I want to take this opportunity to, if my dream friend ever watches this, I want to make clear to her, I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. You and so many of the others that have encouraged me over this last year. Help me find my way in the dark. Thank you. May God forever bless you and keep you for what you've done for me. So that's it for now. Thank you. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for wanting to be better. Good night.